Hello, you've tuned in to the Administrators Table. I'm Steve Contenti, Bristol Town Administrator. Today is Tuesday, April 6th. Today we have two special guests. We're honored to have with us Mr. Walter Coelho, President of the Bristol, Rhode Island Veterans Council, and with him is his Vice President, Carl Antonovich. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Very much.
Okay. We're here at the Bristol Veterans Council's new headquarters at 500 Hope Street. It's the Burnside building. And the town has worked with the Veterans Council to refurbish this room. So this is a very old building. I believe it was 1892. It was dedicated by President Chester Arthur. And if you come into the building, you can actually see photographs of the president here during that cornerstone laying. So gentlemen, welcome to your new home, and thank you for having us here today. It's been a few months, actually, since the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020, when we had our last episode of the Administrators Table. Unfortunately, the studio we were using is temporarily closed, so veterans invited us to come here to their headquarters, and again, thanks for this.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so gentlemen, please tell us a little bit about the Bristol Veterans Council and how often you meet and some of the endeavors that you work on.
Will do. Before that, we need to thank the town of Bristol. We need to thank our town administrator for this amazing, stunning room. As you look around it behind us, you'll see a really beautiful, respectful, honorable room for us to meet and hopefully bring new members into, and we can function right out of this room. So great. Thank you so much, Stephen. I appreciate that.
Don't mention it. And most importantly, thank you for your service, both of you and all the veterans that have allowed us to live in freedom and peace and we're the greatest country on earth. So I strongly believe that. Thank you.
We do meet on the first Monday of every month at 6 o'clock. Obviously, with our COVID restrictions, hopefully we're going to be lifting those within the next couple of months, and we'll be able to have our meetings in person again. We would invite anybody who would like to come and be part of our organization. Our organizations are all of the service organizations that exist out here. VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Italian Americans, DAV, Disabled American Vets, VVA, Vietnam Veterans, and so on, American Legion, AMVETS. And we represent them as a group. They all have their organizations out here. And I always like to tell people, we are service organizations. And by service organizations, that means we help veterans. We help them get their benefits. We help them get whatever is needed. If burial assistance, we help them get counseling. We help them to get into the VA Medical Center. We get them to be able to actually get benefits that they never knew existed for them. I always use myself as a prime example of that. I was never acted or treated like a veteran, and I got out of the Vietnam War in 1970 and went about my business, raising my family, went to work. I thought VFW, I thought DAV, American Legion, I thought they were basically bar rooms and places where people just, guys that were in the service went when they just didn't want to be home. And I did not actually know it. And that was my preconception of these service organizations. In 2011, I had a mishap at work where I fell and I was home for a considerable amount of time, and a neighbor came over to sell tickets for the VFW liquor basket raffle. And he said, "Mr. Coelho, I see you have a flag hanging out there. Are you a veteran?" First time anybody ever asked me if I was a veteran, 2011. I'm 72 years old now. At that point, he said, "Would you like to come to the VFW for a meeting? You could come as my guest." And I said to him, "I'm not really, I don't really do bars and things." And he says, "Absolutely, there's a bar there, but no, we do not. That is not who we are. We do for veterans." And he said, "Just come if you can. You've got a personal invitation from me. I will vouch for you to be there." And I said, "Well, maybe I'll think about it. Thanks." His name was Carl Johnson, him, Carlton Johnson. And he left, and my wife said, "You have to go. First of all, you're making me crazy being around the house, so you need to go and see what that's about, okay?" And I did. And when I got there, we were talking about all of the stuff I've been starting to say here, how to get into the systems, how to access benefits, and what the community is out there does for the veteran community. And I was really impressed. And he invited me to the DAV meeting, which was the following week, Disabled American Vets. And that was at the Veterans Home. And I went over there for the meeting and got to meet a service officer who explained all the benefits and everything that was available to me. And while I was there, I discovered I could volunteer at the home. So I started volunteering at the home as well. And you meet some great people over there. So that's how I came to be to that. And then how I became into the Bristol Veterans Council was Miss Ginny Hansen, who's a DAV member and a Bristol Veterans Council member, had asked me if I owned a hammer. And I said, yeah, I sure do. And she said, well, be at this address on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. So there I went. I went to the Andrade house, and I met Carl, and I met the Elks, DAV, VFW, all of this was there. And I got to meet these incredible, amazing people. And I said, those are the people I want to be. And I'm going to steal Carl's little statement that he told me afterwards, because I had said, this is absolutely amazing, Carl. And he says, Wally, it's the best therapy on the planet. Yeah. And he was so correct to do for others. So
you gentlemen work very well together. There's no question. And you meet. What days do you meet here at your headquarters?
Well, whenever we need to get together, we can make a couple of quick phone calls, and we don't actually have set dates. As far as for service, veteran service officer, who is Steve Scuba, he does this side of the bridge. Okay. He does Bristol, Warren, Barrington, Riverside that way. And I'm also a veteran service officer. I do the other side of the bridge. I do Middletown, Portsmouth, Middletown, Newport that way.
Okay, so a veteran curious about his or her benefits, what day would be best for them to come in and meet with either you or Mr. Scuba? Any
day. They can call us. We have a sign that we're going to put in our window over here. We're going to get a phone number for all you folks that you can call. Okay. And it'll be my phone number, which I can give you right now, which is 508-965-1557. My name is Wally Coelho. Wally Works. Yeah. Dad was Walter. So
what you're saying is now that you have a new headquarters, you're going to have your hours posted, and right now you can call Mr. Coelho if you have questions about your benefits.
And Steve Scuba, I will get his phone number so that and that'll be on a plaque here. Again, it doesn't matter. I mean, if I get a call from someone in Bristol, I'm certainly not going to say call Steve. Yeah. I will tell him, what they need, and he does the same, vice versa. We also work the Tiverton area as well.
Very good. So let me ask you, spring is here. Everyone appreciates the Memorial Day ceremonies. Gentlemen, what do you have planned for this year for Memorial Day observance?
Well, we have to kind of scale it down a little bit, scale it back a little bit. We're going to meet at the VFW probably about 8:30 in the morning. Hopefully
on Hope Street, right? Hope Street,
right on 850 Hope Street. We're going to march down here to the War Garden, and we'll have a little ceremony. At that time, we will play taps, and we will lay a wreath and say a few prayers, and just we'll have the Bristol Train of Artillery give us a rifle salute. It's just going to have to be scaled back, but we have to do it because it's in our blood. And that's what we want to do to memorialize the deceased veterans. And I think that's, and it's a build up to the 4th of July. We will be in a 4th of July parade this year. So as you know, it's going to be a little different, but we will have one. Yeah. So.
And the way things are looking, next year we'll start up at the North Burial Ground. And we'll be back to our usual tradition. We appreciate both of you and all that the veterans have done for us. And I want to thank you for coming on this morning and spending some time with us and allowing us to use your room for the administrators table. But hopefully if anyone watches this show and is thinking of maybe joining the ranks of the Bristol Veterans Council, don't hesitate. They're a really great group of men and women, and they're here on Hope Street in Bristol, and I'm sure they'd love to have you join them. And And gentlemen, thank you again
Thank you.
for coming on.
Thank you for everything,
Yeah.
Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome back to the administrators table. I'm pleased to have our next guest, Mary Ann Quinn, Coordinator of Senior Activities for the Town of Bristol, and Fire Chief Mike DeMello of the Bristol Fire Department. Welcome.
Thank you.
Morning.
Chief, let's get some information out regarding vaccinations and testing for our residents here in Bristol.
Sure. So, the state's making great strides. We're getting a lot more volume of vaccine availability, so that's great. VaccinateRI.org has all the listings of where you can sign up to get your vaccination for the COVID vaccine, and it's really accelerating. Today it opened up for age group 50 and up. Next Monday it goes to 40 and up, and then April 19th it's pretty much open to everybody 16 and up, depending on the vaccine that's available. So they're all good. So I encourage anyone, if you're going to, as soon as you can get one, get whichever one you can get.
Good. So as I understand it, right along there's been 3 different channels for vaccines. So there's the regional pods, which you actually spearheaded one right here in Bristol, and that was a municipal regional pod. You did 75 and over residents, the vaccinations for 75 and older residents, and you have how many more clinics are you running for that, Chief?
Yeah, so we're finishing up, we're culminating this coming Saturday, finishing up what the state had allocated for us to target our 75 plus population. As you said, we've been at it for about 4 months in different capacities, trying to get the limited vaccine at the time out to the identified populations by the Department of Health. And now they're, with the vaccine becoming so much more available, they're really kind of pushing it towards these regional vaccination sites where they can do thousands of people a day and kind of really push out the vaccine. And in addition to that, the pharmacies, local pharmacies, that you see out there, and even your real small local pharmacies now have that available to them. So it's really, it's out there, and again, encourage everybody to sign up when they can. Right.
So going back to the channels, there was the Bristol site here, and then there's the state vaccination sites, right? And those are available at our VaccinateRI.org, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
And there's also a phone number which we'll put on our screen there, if anyone is interested, and we encourage you to get vaccinated. So tomorrow we have there's a grand opening, right, in East Providence. That's our regional municipal site.
Yeah, so we're flanked to the south and the north essentially by a couple of regional sites. So the one in Middletown is a state-run regional site, so that's been up and running a little while now. East Providence it's really going to be kind of it's a state site, municipally staffed. So we're going to team up. I think it's about 5 or 6 towns that are teaming up to kind of staff that. A couple of days a week, and again to kind of help get that vaccination pace sped up as much as possible.
Right. And the third channel was, as you stated earlier, the regional pharmacies, CVS, Walgreens, and it's important to know that those allotments of vaccine came directly from the federal government to the pharmacies themselves. So. We also encourage you to, if you're looking for a vaccine, to go on CVS.com, Walgreens.com, or you can call your local pharmacy and try to get a vaccine scheduled. So speaking about all of this scheduling of vaccines and availability, we have a person that was very busy the last few months. Mary Ann Quinn is with us. Hi, Mary Ann.
Hi.
So Mary Ann, I think our mission was just about accomplished in the 75 and older population.
Yes.
How many phone calls do you think you took over the last few months?
I think on the first day, we took a couple hundred on that very first day that the wait list was up. It's got to be at least close to 1,000 phone calls that we took, and then we made phone calls. We would get lists from Chief DeMello. And we had wonderful volunteers that were helping us to schedule and make phone calls. Those have died down, which is nice because the majority of them are all scheduled. We're on our second dose for this time, and then this Saturday is our last clinic for second doses, yeah.
Terrific. So Mary Ann, the testing site, our rapid testing site, we had opened that up when there was not a regional site for testing in Bristol,
Right.
Warren, or Barrington. A short time after we opened up, and that was the one at the Town Beach.
Right, right.
Barrington opened up a site at the Barrington Shopping Center on
Right.
County Road. So the actual site is where Joseph A. Bank was.
Right.
Right. So if there's any residents that are looking.
Right, they can go, they don't need an appointment. It's Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 5. And so they can just show up to get a test there.
Right.
Barrington
So to recap, if you need a vaccination scheduled, vaccinateri.org, or you can certainly call Bristol Department of Recreation, and Mary Ann Quinn can help you with that.
Right.
And if you need a rapid test, the nearest place would be the Barrington Shopping Center, where the former Joseph A. Bank was. There's also a site on Railroad Avenue in Warren.
Right, and that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 to 2.
I'm really looking forward, along with everyone else, to getting back to normal. And
Yes.
how's programming going at
Yeah,
Recreation?
it is, I think everyone, now that the vaccinations have really gone out, especially for the seniors that I work with, we are seeing a nice influx back into in-person classes, which is great. We were doing Zoom classes. We're still doing both because there's some people that still are not comfortable coming back in. So we're doing hybrid in-person classes and Zoom classes. We have about, between Zoom and in-person, we have about 38 classes a week that we provide between the both systems. We've got probably in the last month, we've seen about 1,000 people come back through.
That's great.
And I think it's just, they've been locked up.
Right.
And that sense of community is what they need right now. The Zoom, we really didn't think the seniors were gonna take to the Zoom, but they just had such a need to see each other and talk to each other. We would start the classes about 10, 15 minutes beforehand so they could all just talk,
nice.
find out what was going on, who had new grandchildren, people were sharing recipes, and now they're really surprising for us that they're our first people coming back in. They're just really excited.
Every time I go to Recreation, and I find I say this all the time, that when you leave there, your spirits are uplifted.
Right.
It's such a positive atmosphere, and it's such a busy place. And
It's so busy.
That's
It's
the Army
great.
Reserve, the former Army Reserve Center on Asylum Road,
Right.
entrance to Colt State Park. That's our Department of Recreation.
It's been great.
So what are some of the courses or the programs that you're
Yeah,
running?
so we've got, specifically for the seniors, we have chair yoga classes, which are incredibly popular. We have those about 4 times a week. We offer a chair yoga class. Then we also have Zumba Gold for the older individuals. Some of them don't want to go to Zumba Gold though, so they feel like they can go to the regular Zumba. And then we've just done some gentle yoga, Pilates classes. Everything is coming back, in person. It's been great that the weather has been amazing, so we've done some outdoor classes too.
Yeah, recreation is so important, and not only physically, but socially and mentally.
Absolutely.
And, so I'm really looking forward to this summer, and with the chief's help here, helping us get vaccinated,
Yes.
I think we're going to have a much better summer than last year.
Yeah.
And Chief, any advice for our residents on surviving the rest of this pandemic?
Yeah, just real simple, just echoing what you've heard out there, and essentially staying vigilant. Keep the masks on. We're battling some increased cases now due to the variants that are out there in the COVID-19 virus. So I just can't stress that enough. Keep washing the hands, keep wearing the mask when you're in kind of those congregate settings, when you're around a lot of people. Pandemics, if you look 100 years ago, it takes a couple of years to wash out. So you look at it, we're a good over the 50% or halfway into this. So we're hopefully on the downslide, getting out of the pandemic and kind of getting back to our regular stuff. So again, just remain vigilant.
Well, it hasn't been easy. Many of you watching have maybe lost somebody, or your lives have been impacted by this horrible pandemic, but stay strong. And Chief, thank you for all that you've done during the last year. Mary Ann, thank you for your time and your commitment to both of you. not only as the town administrator, as a resident, I really want to say thank you for your service. Thank you. And well, that's all I have for our coordinator of senior activities and our fire chief, but I have a little special change in the program this month. We're not in the studio, which means we can go mobile. We're going to take a ride and we're going to go check on some projects in town. The weather's great and the sun's shining, and we'll take a ride. And thank you both again, and we'll be back in a minute. Welcome back. I'm here with Director Chris Perella from the Department of Public Works, and I'm on Shaw's Lane at Rock Street, where we have a $1.7 million CDBG project for 9 streets in the downtown area for new sidewalks which are ADA compliant. Chris, how's the project going?
Project is going great. They're actually slightly ahead of schedule. The constituent issues have been far less than we anticipated. The re-engineering with the moving of the parking and the widening of the road is really going to make for a much better a roadway. It'd be good for property values. Everyone is thrilled with this. We found out today there are some actual handicap residents who live on this street who are thrilled that they're now going to have usable sidewalks that are ADA compliant, and we're just thrilled with this.
That's great news, Director. Hey, right behind you, I see the former industrial park. Looks like we got some good progress going on there. And so this is good news for the neighborhood. I think we got a good future ahead. Let's go on to the next site. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Steve. Oh. How you doing?
We're here on Thames Street with GMO, General Maintenance, Paul Mello. How long you been with DPW, Paul?
Going on 26 years.
Yeah, we're outside. You can probably lift the mask. We'll just stay 6 feet apart. You got Roger Belmore with you, right?
Yeah, Roger.
So the director is having you repaint the poles here on Thames Street.
Yeah, the pole's been here about almost 15 years, so with all the weather, they just need another coat.
Yeah, just keeping up with the maintenance, right?
That's right. All brand new LED. Just getting going. Spring cleaning.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Paul. Looks
problem.
good. So, what kind of paint are you using?
Rust-Oleum. Black
Rust-Oleum.
Rust-Oleum.
Yeah, good.
A gloss.
Yeah.
That's what was on there, so with the weather, it just started to fade out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, weather's good. We won't stay in your way here. We're going to keep moving. Thanks, Paul. Thanks,
problem.
Roger.
All right.
All right, we're here with Carlos Medeiros from our Public Works Department. Carlos is an arborist with the department, and we're on State Street. And Carlos, you're working on some town trees today, right?
Correct.
All right, so let me ask you, Carlos, what are some of the problems you're seeing with the trees here in town? Are they getting to a certain age where they're starting to rot?
Correct. A lot of carpenter activity, digging up the sidewalks, some root decay, obviously from some poorly trimmed trees, some dieback we have, and some of these trees are just old in general.
Yeah. So you know, the cycle of life, what we do is we trim and we do a canopy lift, but at the same time we're planting. And I know your department had a lot to do with tree planting recently, so we're going to start that up again this spring. Well, we're certainly, tree canopy is important to Bristol, and it's good to have Carlos here on our Public Works Department because it saves us money. Rather than outsourcing this, we do the work from within, and you can see, Carlos, tell us about the equipment that you have here.
This is our forestry bucket truck, reaches about 61 feet, 65 with a man inside.
So, Carlos, sorry to interrupt, but that's really not ours, that's on loan?
We are borrowing it from the town of Warren.
Yeah.
That's our chipper. It's a 12-inch self-feeding chipper, and that's our new chip truck with the chip body.
Yeah, which was actually a used truck that was modified, right?
Correct.
Yeah, good.
And we could get double the trees in it
Yeah, good.
compared to the last one. And that's it.
Good. So you guys are staying safe. You got the equipment.
We got
you
the
need?
helmets, communication.
Yeah, and you got your crew
Which
here.
is unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's a game
very-
changer.
Very good. And, all right, well, Carlos, thanks for
Thank you, Steve.
all that you do. Stay safe, and we'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we just stopped here on Wood Street at Wally,
and two of our Public Works masons are working on a storm drain. Mark Gray, you with us?
Yes.
Tell us what's going on here. What's today's project?
Well, we're working at the corner of Wally and Wood Street, repairing a catch basin that the water goes in. And the inside gutters were all caved in.
Yeah. And you have with you, Mark Gray, you have Ken Cabral.
This is Kenny Cabral.
Hi, Ken. How's the project going?
Getting there.
Yeah, good.
It was a bad one, but
Yeah,
the rest of the stuff was down, but little by little we'll get it.
good. Keep chipping away, right? Brick by brick.
That's it.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time and
Yes, sir.
stay safe.
Thank
Well, that's it for this month's episode of the Administrators Table. We'll continue to keep you updated on projects that we're working on. I hope you stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.